Okay. All right, I think I'm recording or running or streaming or whatever. Yeah. Everything looks like it's working. Cool. All right. So I'm just trying a little experiment today to see if program would be interesting to stream. I don't know. I'll give it a shot. I started messing with the idea of I have this Stream Deck that I got on the on a Black Friday sale. It's this little device here. Let me show it. It's like this, I don't know, it's a little box thing. It's got 15 buttons on it, and the buttons are like, you can program basically, you can't really see it. It's really hard to tell, but basically they're like little LED screens. It's completely programmable. So it comes with software that's, it's all right. Like, it's decent, but it leaves a lot to be desired as far as like, I want to hack it more because I'm a programmer and that's what I do. So I started messing with doing some hacking in node.js. So there's actually two libraries that I grabbed yesterday. First one is, where is it? There we go. Hold on, let me flip screens here. Don't mind the windows inside a window. I normally don't cast from my streaming computer, but that's what I'm programming on today, so ignore it. You get to see my OBS window. I've been using this Node Elgato Stream Deck, which is essentially just like a library to interface with the Stream Deck. And it basically, it's like this really simple interface. It gives you access to all the buttons, down and, or yeah, like key press events, and you can change the pictures that show up in the windows and all that stuff on the fly. It's actually pretty cool. But the API is really simple. So I found that, and I just like put together a quick test script yesterday just to see if it works, and it works fine. And then there's also a thing for OBS called OBS WebSocket, and what it is it's an actual plugin. So I'll show it. It's a plugin that you put into OBS and essentially makes like a WebSocket web server thing, and you can it'll stream like events as they're happening inside OBS, and then it'll also you can also send signals to it, send events to it. So for example, you can basically say change the scene, or turn on or off a source, or change mixer settings or whatever. You can do a whole bunch of stuff with it. It's pretty cool. So I'm taking the combination of those two and trying to basically recreate what you can do in the Stream Deck software as a start. And like I only spent like an hour yesterday on it, and I got at least to the point where I can change the scenes as I do on the top 5 buttons here. So if I hit full screen, I have this one, and then I have desktop view, I have my Polaroid thing here, I have my desk cam one, and then I have like a BRB thing. Easy enough. So I wanted to recreate at least that much first, and then kind of go from there. So had to install Node. I mean, I'd done no programming on this computer before. Grab Visual Studio Code because it was the first thing I could think of. I usually use like Emacs and stuff on Mac, but because I'm in Windows, I had to pick the first thing I could think of. So grab that. What else? Oh yeah, and then just like I installed the Git stuff so that I had like a terminal window, basically. So that's as far as I got. Let me show the code real quick. So I basically knocked together a very simple script that basically I put the OBS stuff and the Stream Deck stuff into their own files so that they'll initialize, and then I created 2 functions in each. So Stream Deck one, it just initializes it, and then there's this, I made this convert key function because there's it. Yeah, the way that these buttons are assigned are really weird, starting with 0 on the top right and then going left like that, and it's kind of tough to deal with. So I created a function that I can basically take one of these numbers, so I give it a 6, and it tells me what column and what row it's on. So that's basically the only main function in there. I wrote an OBS thing that basically just connects to the WebSocket on the OBS plugin thing. And then I basically print out if the scenes change. So it's going connections both ways. So even if I change the scene in OBS with, this, it's still going to be it's still going to send it back. So that way I always have sort of an idea of where OBS is currently, which is nice. And then I created a function to just set the scene, and basically so that I can send it a scene name based on like the scenes here, and it'll just switch to it. So super simple. That's all I've done so far. And then I started kind of putting together like a little, what would be an engine for this. So essentially we can have multiple layouts. Each one of these sections is like a row. Each one of these is a button. And then we can have like different types, and I'll have different information in there. But the only thing I put in there so far is switch scene. So I just have the same 5 scenes that I have set up in Stream Deck. And then when the key comes back up, if it's a scene to switch, I set the scene. That is all I've done, and it works fine. I don't know. I mean, it's as simple as it's going to get. So let me kill the Stream Deck software here. And so now if I hit buttons on this, it shouldn't do anything. Nope. Oh, it's still working. Why? Oh, I know why. Because I didn't actually kill it. I just closed the window. Quit. Yes. Okay. So now, yeah, switching buttons, it doesn't do anything. Cool. All right, I'll open up my shell. I'll start it back up. This is my version, and it failed immediately. Fantastic. What did I break? I must have accidentally fat-fingered some keys or something. Let me see here. What did I do? Oh, I see what I did. All right. Got it. I started messing with stuff, and then I deleted it. Apparently, what did I do? Case, switch scene, break, unexpected token break. Why? Let me see here. Back it up. I gotta way back up. I did have this working yesterday, so, and then I messed with it for like 5 minutes. Said nope, I'm not gonna do it now. I'll do it on stream later. Save. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now if I so the thing about this is that like it's completely like it's stock, so it's like it's not even changing the. Oh wow, why is this not working? There it goes. It's not even changing the image. This is basically what shows up when you turn it on. So it doesn't change. It doesn't set any buttons. It doesn't do anything. It's just switching things for me. So there's that. I'll hit my BRB, back to the desktop, Polaroid, etc. So this is working through my script. So what I've done so far works fine. But now I need to add, because right now there's no point in me running this because it's doing exactly what the software that came with it did. So I'm going to start looking at the new stuff I want to do. So let me just make some notes here real quick. So things I want to do. Number one, I want to, all right, so let me give you a good example. I want to toggle for scenes. So I have this zoom thing. It's just a stupid zoom view, right? But what I want to do is when you hit the zoom, you then have to remember what scene you were on before. And it's usually for like effect. You're usually doing it for like 2 seconds and you're putting it back, right? So I wanted to make it so it would go back to the scene that you were already at. And OBS does not have this anywhere in it, like at all. So I basically want to make a thing that will remember, like, because I have access to what scene is actually playing at all times, right? So there should be no reason why I can't keep track of the last scene before I go to this one. And then if I hit it again, just go back to the previous one that's in memory. So that's the main one that I'm going to do first because that one's really annoying. Toggle scene, put it back to previous scene when button is hit again. All right, that's that one I'm going to do first. I'm trying to think what were the other ones. Oh, there's one. So let me go back to the software real quick here. Let me kill this. I'd like to talk it out before I actually do stuff. So you guys all get to listen to me do it. I talk to myself a lot because I work at home by myself. So Stream Deck. Okay. So one of the things that I have in here is these two buttons right here, this face cam and key cam. So what these are what do they call them in OBS? Source toggles. So basically I hit one of those, it brings up my keyboard, or if I turn my face off, so if there's like a cutscene or something. But the thing about these is these have to be tied to a scene. So these only work if I'm on this main scene. So even if I'm on, like, basically I have this version, the same exact scene, except it's like, hold on. Turn stuff off here. Okay. It's basically the same exact scene, except it's larger. But these buttons now don't work because it's not part of the same scene. So I should be able to turn off my keyboard cam and my face cam here, but I can't because it's only locked to this one. And I'm using up 2 buttons for it. So one thing I'd like to do is make these dependent on what scene is on. So if I switch to this scene, for example, these buttons, they may still say face cam and key cam, but they're now going to turn off the sources on this view or on this scene instead of this scene. And there's no way to do that in the software, which just seems really dumb to me. So that is scene dependent keys for toggling what are they called? Sources. Yeah, so that's another one. And then I want to be able to play sounds. That's a big one. Play sounds, because right now you have to run a separate soundboard app, and then you have to create key bindings that also match up to the key bindings in this. And then you have to make sure that you actually start this. And if you forget any of those steps or kind of screw it up or accidentally pick a key binding that's used by something else, you're kind of stuck. So yeah, that's not great. So I want to make it so that it natively will play sounds, which in Node doesn't actually natively play sounds. It shells out to a player of some sort, but it would be enough that I don't have to remember to open something else up. And then there was one more thing. What was it? I was thinking all these earlier today. I can't remember. So, all right, yeah, last one. And I promise I'll actually write some code. So right now, when I want to play a sound, I have to hit the button, hit the sound, and then hit back again. And to me, it would make sense for me to do like a chord thing where I hold this button in. The other buttons change for the time that I'm holding it, and then I could hit the button, and then when I let go, it would automatically go back. So then I could have sounds in there. If I wanted to have a memes button, I could have a memes button in there or something like that, and then I don't have to remember to hit the button, hit the other button, then hit the back button, all in the span of, while you're trying to talk and do other stuff and possibly play a game and all that. So I want to make it, like hitting Alt-W or something. Like it's the same finger kind of motion. So I want that. So yeah, that's the last one for now. I'm sure I'll think of more, but these are sort of where I'm starting. I'd like it to have a UI at some point, because right now I have to code every change that I want, but it's, it'll get there. You would probably use like Electron or something like that to like add a UI to it, but I'm not ready to go there yet. Plus the memory usage would be incredible once you add the Chrome runtime into there, Chromium or whatever it's called. So ability to hold button to change, what's the term? Profiles? What did we call it? I forget the term already. Layouts. That's it. There. So that's all the things I want to do. But I'm going to start with toggle scene, because that one I kind of have a handle on how I'm actually going to do it. Yeah, so let's give it a shot. All right, so I'm actually going to put it in the same place I have the other one. So I'm going to copy this entire row to the second row. don't need anything in here for now. You know, I'll just leave them. It doesn't really make a difference. Type. This will be toggle scene. And the scene is called zoom. Yeah. Okay. So now, there's a couple schools of thought. Like, I could make it so that I actually hold down the button to toggle it, and then when I let go, it goes back. Or I can hit it twice. That's a good question. You know what? I may want to have my fingers free, so we'll go with toggling it for now. But I may actually do both. Like, maybe I can do, like, I could have toggle scene, and then I could also have temp scene or momentary scene or something like that to do the other way. But I'll start with toggle. That's fine. So I'll make a handler for the toggle scene type. And then just starting that. I gotta actually close this thing again. Quit. Yes. Shell. Start. Okay. So right now it should act exactly the same as my switch scene, which is fine. So if I hit that, zoom. Yep, good. All right. Now to do the other part. So, we're gonna have to, and I'm gonna have to reorganize all this stuff. But let's just do it quick and dirty for now. Let scene toggled equals false. Right, and scene toggled equals the opposite. Right? Yeah. All right. That's a good start. So now, if not scene toggled, so if it's sort of the default state, then we're just going to we're going to switch scene like normal. Right? Cool. And then if it's not that, then we're going to do, I'm going to have to create a function for setting the previous scene. Either way, this is going to get switched back. Yeah. I may have to do something where I always, this is going to eventually, this could potentially get out of sync. So like if I switch to zoom, right? And instead of hitting zoom again, I go back and just go right to another scene. This could then get out of sync. So I have to do something where this is always getting reset. So like I could put it here so that it's always set to false if you actually go and switch a scene like a normal person. But there may be other situations too where I want to reset that. So I'll leave it be for now, but I will eventually have to fix that. That'll be a bug, I'm sure. Okay. Okay, so no, I should probably just turn it off. It's got to be distracting to see that. So, all right. So then what I need to do now is in my OBS little library here, I need to, one, create that function, set previous scene. And make sure I export it. Oops. Copy paste is the best. And then also make sure that I import it before I forget. We'll do it here like that. Now it's available to me. And again, right now, if I actually ran it, it wouldn't do anything because it's just going to call the same scene. What I need to do now is, how do I want to do this? I need to keep track of this scene, like the current scene, and the previous scene. And when I switch, so whenever I get the message that I've switched to scene, I need to set it. All right, so what would I do? I do scene equals, no. I do previous scene equals scene. So basically set the one that it thinks it is now to the previous one. And then SCENE. I'm spelling it right? Why does the word look really wrong all of a sudden? Weird. All right, and then I set the current scene to the one that just came over the wire, right? So now I have access to both. Yeah, so I'd switch the scene the first time. Previous scene would still be empty because this is empty. Then this would become whatever, my new scene, and then I'd switch it again to zoom. Zoom would come here, or previous scene, which is whatever, would come here. Zoom would go here. And then I would, if previous scene is not equal to empty, change it to previous scene. So this, and by doing it here on the switching scenes, this will still be active even if I am changing it somewhere else in OBS, somewhere. It doesn't matter. If there's some other remote app running or something, it'll still work. So that's why I don't do it when I'm hitting the buttons, because I may get out of sync with what's actually going on in OBS. So I always assume that I'm going to get an event back over the WebSocket and set it. So I do that. So, okay. Previous scene. I think that would work. Restart. Eventually I'll have to get it to a point where it would restart itself if I change code. That's really obnoxious. I wonder if I can turn that off. I'm gonna look real quick. Nope. That's really annoying. Oh, well, whatever. Okay. All right. So let's see here. This is on. Okay. So now if I hit that button, I should get, well, let's test again, make sure that my other stuff's working. So, yeah, all works. Okay. Now zoom and then zoom again. Nothing. Great. Okay. What did I do? All right, I guess I'm going to have to put some debug messages in here, right? So, console log setting previous scene to scene. Setting scene to this, and then new active scene there. All right, then you can see what's going on here. Oh, and then shoot, and then console log calling set previous scene and calling set scene with scene name. And this doesn't actually take any arguments. And just make sure that I don't send arguments here. Oh, I do. I don't need that. Get rid of that. Okay. Does that look right? If not, scene toggled. I think that's right. Okay. All right. That noise is really annoying me. Okay, so zoom. No zoom. Okay, switch back. All right, let's see what's in the log here. Let me do it one more time. Zoom. Zoom. Switch it back. Okay. All right. So setting previous scene to full screen HDMI. That's right. Setting scene to zoom. Okay. Calling set previous scene. It is. That's working so far. Previous scene set to zoom. What? So wait, let's see here. Let me clear the log and do it one more time. Okay. So zoom, not zoom. Okay. Calling set scene with zoom. Yep, that's right. Setting previous scene to empty. Okay. I know why. Because it's not set. I don't have, when I start the app up, I don't have the initial data. It's not, when I connect to the WebSocket the first time, it's not telling me what the actual event or what scene I'm on. I think I'd have to query it when I connect. So what I would have to do is stoke the fire a little bit just to do this. So let's, so I'll just switch it real quick and then come back to it. So switch back. Now I have a previous scene set, right? So now if I zoom, setting previous scene, zoom. Wait, one more time. Let me actually see it. Zoom. Yeah, there we go. Zoom. Perfect. Yeah, that works. So the only issue that I'm having is when I started up the first time, I don't know what scene I'm on. And there's probably a way around that. I wonder if you can query in the OBS doodad. Let's see here. OBS WebSocket switch scenes. Transitions, profiles, streaming, recording, replay, requests. Here we go. Get current scene. Okay. So does this have so that is in the actual, so this is the code for the server, the plugin for OBS. So then the question is does the JavaScript client have access to that function? That is a good question. It has get scene list. So it probably has, and it has set current scene, so it probably has get current scene. I'm just gonna assume it does. So what I'll do is when we connect, can I call I can just call something. Okay. So when we connect, I'm going to then write a function that, so the connect to return a promise. Then in the promise, I will do OBS dot get, what is it? Get current scene? Get current scene. Okay. Okay, and they lowercase it. So get current scene. And then what I'll do is I will set both scene and previous scene to that. Then I'll just put a console log in there just to make sure. Setting or first scene set to scene, and then I'll just make sure. No, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. So Control C. start it up. First scene set to promise. Why? Scene equals get current scene does not return what? What is it? No, shoot. What is return? Oh, it returns a promise. Ooh, okay. Weird. Oh, that is really weird. Okay. I guess that makes sense. Not really. That's fine. So what I'll do is, all right, we'll make another. So promise logic's weird. I'm not even going to try and explain it. I'm just going to deal with it. So this will return a promise to give me my scene name. And then this will probably be current scene name here. And then I can do that. Yeah. Then okay. So I connect. I know I connect. It would be passing me the OBS object that I already have, so I'm not worried about it. I return a promise to get the current scene. It must go and do that because it's async. And then it calls, it will return, we'll return this promise. Then this promise will resolve with the current scene name. This should be a string. I would assume so because this scene list returns just a regular array. Yeah, so I'm sure that's fine. And then I will set my scenes to, what comes through. Let's try it. I think that'll work. Oh, it's a scene object. It's not a name. Okay. Even better. That's fine. So I'll just grab the name. Current. So instead of this being a name, it's a current scene object. And then in there, I will grab the name. First scene set to full screen HDMI. So now I should have immediate access to my zoom. Zoom, unzoom, zoom, unzoom. Now the only thing that's going to screw me up is if I do zoom, change, zoom again. Oh no, it still works. No, it doesn't. I have to hit it twice. So yeah, so there's a little bit of a bug based on get rid of some of these console logs here. There's a slight bug related to, like I said earlier, the this bit here, where I set this scene toggled thing, but I don't set it back if you're just switching a scene. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fake it for now and do scene toggle equals false. So it will always reset the toggle no matter what. And I know there's a better way to do this. I'm positive there's a better way to do this. But for first drafts, this is fine. Okay, so that's easy to test. So save, restart. Okay, and then so I hit zoom, and then zoom back. That works. Okay. Zoom, Polaroid. All right, so now the flag should have gotten reset again. So now if I hit zoom again, and then hit it back, it should go back to the Polaroid. Yep. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. That's great. That's actually went way faster than I expected it to. That's huge because, like, I mean, just not having to think about that is great. I'm tempted to just quickly throw in the hold down the key thing too. And I don't have to worry about Boolean, or I don't have to worry about that flag, the scene toggle flag. If I, yeah, you know what? Let's do it real quick. Why not? So we're gonna do, what should I call it? Momentary scene? Like a momentary switch, right? Momentary scene. You know, I'm not gonna use the same key. I have keys to spare, so let's use another one. This, and we'll call it momentary scene. Zoom. All right. So how does this work? I do a very similar bit here in the key down, right? I'm just gonna copy code. Copy all the code. Which, yeah. So we're gonna take all this. I'll have to move this into a function later because it's ugly. Momentary scene goes there. Get rid of all that. Okay. So we don't care about the Boolean. I'm going to move this down here just so that it kind of stays with its use here. So put that there. All right. Down. So if it's a momentary scene and I'm pushing down, I immediately want to set the scene to the scene name. Easy. I don't have to change anything there. When the key goes back up and it's a momentary scene, I want to call the previous scene. Could it be that easy? Yeah, I think it could be. I don't love the way this code looks right now, but other than that, it feels super easy. All right, let's try it. Right? Okay. So start it back up. Okay, so I'm gonna hit this button and hold it in. Zoom. So far so good. I'm holding it in. Let go. Nice. That was easy. Love easy. That's actually probably better for something like that, because, or I guess it would be, yeah, like, just let go. That's actually awesome. I like that a lot. I mean, I could see situations where the toggle makes more sense. Like if you had like a, even like on the BRB screen, like this would probably be good for a toggle, because then you don't have to remember what you were doing beforehand, because like, I don't know, maybe you were using a weird scene. Like I have a scene set up for like doing live split stuff, like, but I don't normally use it like every day. I only use it once in a while, so it would be nice to be able to just flip to that, and keep it there, and then walk away, go get a drink and do all the other stuff, and then just hit the same thing and I go right back to where I was at. So that makes actual sense to put that there. But then other things like the zoom, it's not that one. I already forgot what I did. The zoom, hold it, let go, I'm back. That's actually pretty cool. Yeah, I like that a lot, actually. That's going to stay. In fact, I think I'm going to make those changes now that I just said. I'm going to make zoom a momentary scene. And the thing is, and making BRB, oh wait, shoot. Making BRB a toggle, it doesn't mean that I have to use the toggle. I can still go and switch to any other scene I want. So, whatever, right? Like, whatever. It's like there's no real loss or whatever. There's no real problem with using that. In fact, using it almost everywhere, because it makes it easy to just kind of not think. But I'm going to keep it this way just so that I have all the features sort of available to test. So I'll leave it. I actually have to go back to my Stream Deck and remember what my other buttons did, because I'm going to try and set up the second row real quick. Just so that I'm back up and running. Let's see here. Oh, my browser scene. That's it. And then these were all blank. All right. Cool. So exit. Yes. Kill that. Okay. So this is the browser scene. And then type is nothing. Type is nothing. Type is nothing. I'm going to just get rid of this too. I don't know what they do, and I'd rather it be fairly obvious visually that they don't do anything. And then I just need to make sure that there is an actual type, and it's not empty. So if key found and key found.type and key found.type is not equal to empty, and do a thing, and also copy that here. That way, if I hit a button that's not set, either if it's not set at all, that doesn't have an object in here, or if it's not set to a type that matters, we're still good. And even if, like at the end of the day, like I don't even have to really check the type because it's not going to catch any of these anyway. I just want to make sure that this doesn't cause some kind of, error. So yeah, I probably don't need this. Because maybe I will put a default handler of some type at some point. So I don't need to over check. All right, one more test. Make sure the browser scene works. Which will just show my editor window, right? No, I must not spell it right. Oh, it's local browser. That's why. Oh, what is this? Unhandled promise rejections are deprecated. In the future, promise rejections are not handled. Will terminate. Ooh. I wonder what was unhandled. That's weird. Oh, maybe me setting it to a scene that doesn't exist was causing a problem. I should probably put in some kind of handler for that in my set scene here. It probably needs some kind of because this is actually a promise. This is returning a promise. So I probably need some kind of then that checks the error catch. I guess it would be a .catch. And then even if I don't do anything with it, I need to be able to catch it so that it doesn't kill the node process. I got to go back and do that. Make sure set scene promise is caught if there is an error. Okay. It's not an error. It's not a problem now, but it will be. Okay, so let's make sure the local browser works. Local browser. Yep, that works. Cool. Good. And that's basically a scene for if I have a web browser open. I want to... It's basically everything but the stuff at the tabs and junk at the top. So if I wanted to run a video or something, it basically is that. So, yeah. All right. So, yeah, it kind of looks like that. Okay. So that's what, 2 things off my list, or 1 thing off my list already, and then it actually went a little further than I expected it to. Which is cool. Strike. No, that's not how you spell strike. That's still not how you spell strike. Strike. All right. Scene dependent keys for toggling sources. Scene dependent keys for toggling. Yeah, okay. I will start this. I'm not sure if I'm going to have time to finish it. How long have I been on? 44 minutes. I got about an hour. All right, I'll keep going for a little bit. Okay. So what I want to do here. How do I want to do this? So basically I want to make it, so let me just add my 3rd row here. Let's see if I can try and just even data-wise figure out how to show this. Get rid of these so they don't do anything. So I want to... There's two schools of thought. Like, the main thing that I would probably want to do here is go like available... ILABLE. Available sources. Right? And then in there, I basically say... I have a source. I guess I only need names, right? Yeah, I only need names. So I have a source called, what do I have? It's called, ooh, is that really what it's called? I should fix my names. Face camera scene dash green screen. Ooh, is that what I don't want to start up Stream Deck again. I guess I'm going to have to. I got to see what I have set in there. Pardon me. Stream Deck. Face cam. Yeah, face camera scene green screen. Okay. So, yeah, so I would need to keep track of that. So, face, camera, scene, green screen. And then my other one that I had was Pcam. Keyboard, camera, scene. I really named these terribly. Keyboard, camera, scene. It's complicated because there's scenes inside scenes. It's nested. It's gross, but it's the easiest way to be able to have green screen on some things and not on others. Or like the Polaroid thing. It's the same scene, but I use a scene inside a scene so that I can apply the effects to one and not the other. It's complicated. Anyway. So what I think I want to do is I have these available sources. All right, and then let's say I'm on... I can close this now. And then let's say I'm on the... Which one? This one, right? And then I want to shut off the face camera scene. This one. I don't know why I would, but let's, for, example. Right? So then I would put, in that scene, I would put, I'd get rid of this, obviously. And then I would have face camera scene 2 colors. Spelled wrong. I don't know why what I was thinking, but whatever. That's what it is. I think I was Canadian that day. I don't know. Yeah. All right. So then what I would probably want to do here is have a type of like scene source, maybe. Toggle. Something like that. And then in there, I would actually think that I would want source index. Like, I don't want to put the name in again, because that is just weird, because then you have to do it in 2 places, right? So we'll say that this is source index 0, right? And then this is source index 1. So then what would happen is, for each one of these that I have in here, so index 0, index 1, index 0, if they exist in that scene that's currently showing, and again, I'm not sure how I'm going to reference this because, yeah, it's a little weird, but basically, I want to, if this is set, I want then this button to show the scene source, right? Like, and if it's not set because I'm on like whatever, I'm on this scene and it doesn't have any of these toggles, then these would just be blank. They wouldn't do anything. Yeah. do this. So the one thing I'm wondering is, I'm wondering if it would make sense for me to, instead of storing, because right now I'm doing everything off of scene names, right? So like in here, I'm only storing the name, right? Even though in theory I have the entire object. Now if I'm looking at the entire object, which let me just print it out real quick. I think I have access to all these sources inside this object already. So I think they're going to come in very handy for me if I know what scene I'm in and which sources are available to me, and then kind of do all the logic based around that. I'm not sure yet. I just have to, and this is totally sort of out of the blue on what I'm trying to do here. So let's see. Let me start this up and just look at what that object looks like. Yeah, so it has essentially a name, message ID twice. Okay. And then all of the sources that are inside that. So 1, 2, 3, 4 sources. Actually, let me go to my main one, because obviously you can't see this because I'm being stupid. Let's do this again. Whatever. Yeah. That was a fail. All right, so yeah, so I'm on the scene now. So here's my sources, right, for this particular scene. So now I can see that I have my face, camera, scene, green screen right there available to me. So I know that exists. I'm not sure what I'm going to... I mean, I don't know what I have to do besides toggle up by name. I don't actually know, but I need to make sure that it's available. Like, because if I put like dummy data in here, I don't want to start showing a button for it. I actually want to know if it exists or not. So having all this information available to me will allow me to make a sort of a strong effort to know that these buttons are actually valid based on what information is in here. Because if I say I set this stuff, right, and then I go and change OBS later on, there's a very good chance that I'm not going to know, you know, what, if it's like still valid. So I'm going to be trying to toggle scenes on that don't actually exist anymore. So I think it would make the most sense for me to check all that stuff. So I'm going to have to switch it from using names and actually use objects, which is fine. I can still I can still change it based on the name. So like the set scenes thing can still just use a name. That's fine. But all this stuff where I'm getting the scene events back and storing them in temporary variables and stuff, that I think I should store the whole object so that I have it available. And I always basically know what scenes are available to me at any time. Yeah. All right, that works so far. Let's get rid of that. But the thing is I gave myself, what, an hour, and I'm at 53 minutes. You know what? I'm just going to keep going. It's fine. Let me just make sure nothing's going on. Let me check my phone real quick. Everything's good. All right, we're going to keep going. All right, so let me store those objects first, and then make sure that my code accounts for it. So these are going to now become null because they're objects. And then I'm going to keep that console log just so I have some debug information to look at. On scenes, which, yeah, so instead I'm going to do that. And now these will contain the actual scene objects, or yes, no, yes, scene objects. And then previous scene, that. And then when I set the previous scene, I just need to make sure that I use the name. Let me just double check and make sure I didn't break anything real quick with my toggles. All right, so zoom, unzoom. Okay, yeah, so that still works. Good. Okay. This would be a lot cleaner if I did this. Let me just double check that still works. Okay, good. All right. Okay, so it was just a cleanup. I don't need the return in there and everything. It's a one-liner. All right, so that all works. That all works. Okay. So how do I want to do this? Now, eventually, I'm going to have to set buttons for this stuff. Like, in fact, I got to put the note in there. Set images for buttons, because right now it doesn't do anything. I'm going to have to create some GIFs on the fly based on that data object. And then I would like to make it so like it changes color based on the scene. So, like, if it's a toggled scene, and that scene's on right now, like, I'd like the background to go from black or whatever to red. Just so you can kind of see at a glance when you're looking down what scene is on. So I'm going to have to, that's going to be one thing. I don't even know how to generate images on the fly in Node yet. That's something I'm going to have to look into. I'm assuming it'll involve third-party dependencies and a bunch of other junk, and it probably won't work well on Windows, but we'll give it a shot. Okay, so available sources. Now here's the problem with the way that I have this set up. I don't really know anything about this data once I'm in it. Like, I'm wondering if I need to store this object somewhere as like my current scene. I don't know. Current button that's being pressed right now. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like this data here doesn't really match. This data here doesn't really match what this is. This is basically saying this is the action for this button. This stuff is like sort of outside of that. Like, it's almost like instead of setting it here, I would set it here instead. Like, let's just see what that would look like. So, what would we call this? We'd call it scenes, right? And that would be a dictionary. And the first scene would be called HDMI, like this, right? And then in there, the button would be called this, right? And then I would have, if I was on Polaroid scene, then the source would be this, right? And then this obviously isn't going to exist. And then this would be this one. That actually probably makes more sense, because what I can do is I could test it when it's actually pushed at this point. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. This junk goes away. That just makes a little more sense. Like, it's weird to configure it that way, but eventually, if it has a GUI, that will be hidden away anyway, so it won't really make a difference. It seems weird looking at it, configuring it as a user, but as sort of what to store in the data structure, it makes a lot more sense. So, yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Okay, so now let's handle that type, right? So, what do I call it? Scene source toggle. If it's a scene source toggle, okay. So, what do I want to do here? I want to check to see if that key exists, right? So, I have my key found already, right? So, if key found scenes, right? Key found scenes. So, if that actually exists, right? We'll do some logic. Make sure I put a break in there so I don't forget. And then, if there's a key with the current scene name, which I have to get, right? So I need to get current scene function. Return scene, right? So that'll just return our current scene object, not name, but the whole object. And make sure that I pull it out here. Okay. So, all right. So if scenes is in there, okay. If key found that scenes contains a object of get scene name, right? Yeah. All right. So then I know that my source is called. My source name is what is this, right? Is this whole deal? Right? And then I really don't like that wrap. Yeah, whatever. And then I just want to switch, basically toggle that, right? And now how does the toggle work? I haven't looked at the API for this yet, so let's see what we're doing here. So sources. Requests for sources. Sources. Get sources list. Get sources type. Toggle mute. Toggle. Get mute. Set mute. So is even a video, is it considered muted if it's not on? It's probably true. Let's see here. Oh, render. Render false. Render true. That's not muted. Okay. Toggle mute. Inverts the mute status of the specified source, but if it's not... I wonder if mute actually does that. I would bet money it does. I would bet money it does. Let's try it. Let's try it. Toggle source. Let's send the whole scene. And then let's send the source that I want to toggle. Right. And then I'm going to need a toggle source function. Let's toggle source. And we're going to do scene object and source name. Right. And then make sure I export it. Oh, I wish this had real exports. This is gross. whatever. It's fine. Ugh. No. There we go. All right. So now, what do I actually want to do in this function? I think. Where's that toggle source again? Or toggle mute? Inverts the mute status of the specified source. Source, the name of the source. That's it? I don't have to send a... Really? Okay. I don't know if I believe it, but I'll try it. OBS.toggle mute. Source name. I seriously doubt this is going to work. I'm going to try it, though. And then I just need some debugging messages in here. Make sure that this is actually getting called before it fails. So console log toggling C source. Get the text wrong every time. We're going to do source name. I'm also going to do the scene name just so that I have it, just so I know what's going on. Cool. All right. Let's see what happens. Okay. So I'm already on this scene. So now, I am confusing myself. Forget what the OBS icon looks like. There it is. Okay. So I've hit the first button. Do I have any debug messages? All right, what do we got here? Toggle scene, source, face corner. All right, so that part's right? If I do the second button, it should... Oh, it wants a source. Okay. Yeah, I can do this. Okay, so, but it's toggling source, keyboard, camera, so it's right. Like, and then if I was on Polaroid. I'm just trying this real quick. Nothing. Why? Polaroid. Did I spell it right? I did. Weird. No. Oh, this is totally not working. Okay. All right, whatever. It's fine. I mean, it's not going to work anyway because I don't have it. It's weird that it's not working at all now. Like, it worked the first time. It failed because it's not sending the right data, but it was handling the keyboard press. Now it's not even handling that. Which is really weird. And then switch. Doesn't work. Okay. I screwed something up there in the get current scene, I think. Not sure what I did. But, all right. If scenes and... That is weird. And get scene, just return scene. Like, this should work. There's nothing to it. Yeah. All right, I'll try it another day. I think I'm gonna bail out, and maybe I will work on this again tomorrow for a little bit. Yeah. Well, thanks for watching. Hopefully it was interesting. There's still a lot more to do, so that should keep me busy for a while, and hopefully I'll get to stream all of it. So, yeah. Thanks, and I guess we'll I just want to make sure it was still working. Yeah, it still works. Okay, and I guess we'll see you later. All right, thank you.